Hey, what's up, it's iCkEdMeL. Welcome back to the channel and thank you for stopping by. A couple of interesting things that we got to talk about, several updates, but we'll just start with this first. And you have to pay attention to the words here because when I first read this, I thought they specifically said the house, but it says here, area where 4 University of Idaho students were murdered was known party spot, taxi driver says. That's where people go to get drugs. The section of Moscow, Idaho, where the 4 University of Idaho students were murdered earlier this month is a known party spot, which is not surprising. The neighbor said it's kind of like that whole area is kind of like a little party area. It says local taxi driver who added that that's where people go to get drugs. Our reporters on the ground just a few days after the murders could hear loud revelers next door to the home where investigators continue searching for clues. That's the video that you saw in the intro of this video. Speaking with the Idaho Tribune, a local taxi driver claims that the area where the 4 university students were murdered is a known party spot. I think that's where people go to get drugs. I used to drive people there all the time. It's a known party spot. Everyone knows that's where people go to get drugs, which, you know, the parents have said that this situation has nothing to do with drugs as far as like, you know, I guess drug deal or whatever. Jeremy, which is the neighbor, a student who lives nearby where the murders took place, told Fox News that the victims would often have gatherings and added that people went in and out of the house pretty frequently. There were parties that were kind of loud. As I would take my dog in and out of the bathroom, I would see people in the windows almost every night, probably 4 or 5 nights a week. It was kind of a party house. But then again, this whole neighborhood is a party neighborhood. This could make forensic detectives' job more difficult as there could be dozens, possibly hundreds of samples of DNA left over from previous gatherings. That's what makes things difficult. This is one of the images that was put that I thought was kind of interesting, where you can see, you know, all the drinks and stuff. It looks like empty, you know, red cups and maybe, I don't know what other containers there are there. It's kind of crazy to think that like after these murders took place, people were still going out and like partying. Now, moving on to the next thing. And by the way, if you guys wouldn't mind subscribing, please, turning on the bell notifications, hitting like, it really helps out the channel. I appreciate that. This article, which Fresh has sent to me, is pretty interesting because it had some details that are really important. It says, of the 4 University of Idaho students who were found stabbed to death in a rental house last Sunday, some were killed in their beds, the Idaho County coroner told CBS News Friday. Coroner Kathy would not provide any further details. She noted, however, that earlier media reports stating that all 4 victims had been murdered in their beds were not accurate. On Thursday, Mabba told CBS News that the students were killed with a large knife, expanding on the autopsy reports, which concluded that the 4 victims were stabbed to death. According to Moscow police, the coroner said that all 4 victims were likely asleep. Some had defensive wounds and each stabbed multiple times. There were no signs of SA. So you guys in the comment section and in the chat can tell me how you interpret this. She noted that earlier media reports stating that all 4 victims had been murdered in their beds were not accurate, but also it says that all 4 victims were likely asleep. So I don't know, like, does this mean that like they were attacked while in bed in their sleep? Maybe somebody got up and fought, and so the final place where they were murdered maybe wasn't in the bed. Maybe somebody had actually gotten out of the bed and tried to fight back. Or maybe somebody wasn't in their bed when they were found. As far as the stalker situation, the only person that I had heard say that Kaylee had a stalker was this guy, Mark Furman. And, you know, the Moscow, Idaho website specifically states that they've extensively looked into whether Kaylee had a stalker. They pursued hundreds of pieces of information, but have not verified or identified a stalker. Kaylee's family, this is what they had to say about this stalker thing.
Yeah, it seems to be knocked down. Obviously, any of that information would be new to us as well. Kaylee FaceTimed me. She didn't call or text. She FaceTimed me for literally hours, almost every single day. And she was extremely cautious. She was very vigilant. I think that she really would have noticed something, and she would have said it to us. She wasn't, you know, scared to get us involved in her life in any capacity like that. And some of these theories, like Kaylee had a stalker, that even we're sitting here scratching our heads saying, no, you know, it couldn't be. If it was, it would be news to us.
Yeah. One point in this interview when they're talking to the family and about how police have kind of been vague, Kaylee's father had said that like that they couldn't verify any stalker situation, but that police were going around asking about information. My thing is, I'm thinking maybe they were just asking to try to verify if anybody else had heard that. But as police have said on the website now, they can't, there's nothing they can verify.
Yesterday I asked about the stalker question and they couldn't confirm anything. And then today I hear that they're reaching out to the community saying that there's a stalker involved. So I don't know what to make of that.
Are they keeping you updated more than they are, say, on the website or with these press briefings?
They're just so vague with everything that they say, and then they like slowly peel it back layer until you like find the real story. It all started with a sharp-edged weapon. What was the use in telling the community that a sharp-edged weapon was used instead of just coming out and telling us that it was a knife from the beginning? I don't understand the purposeness of being so vague. You're not holding the integrity of the case together by not telling anybody anything.
There was another question that the reporter asked the family about the handling of the crime scene, and the father specifically spoke about the extension of the crime scene to the back of the house, the road, the trees that we've spoken about. And he said that apparently he had even seen or heard that volunteers had found stuff back there, but police, when he asked them about that, they told him that it was more to stop the cameras, which I kind of don't believe, man. That whole area should have been a crime scene from the rip, I think, in my opinion. But here's that part.
Well, they expanded it, and there was volunteers that walked around, and they disclosed that they were looking and found different things. So, you know, they did share with me that may have more to do with keeping cameras out than it actually does with evidence gathering. So I hope that is indeed the case, because it would be pretty disheartening a week later to know that they didn't have the right claims.
I'm going to put the link to the full CNN video in the description, but another portion of that was where he asked the reporter about one of the surviving roommates supposedly hearing something, rumors going around, and supposedly it came from the mother.
One of the mother of one of the surviving roommates, so reminding our viewers, there were two roommates who were upstairs and survived this, told a reporter that those roommates heard something that night. Have you been told? Have you heard from sharing with other relatives of the other victims what that was exactly?
No, I would say for us that we did hear those rumors, but right now we can only leave it at that. None of that has ever been confirmed to us.
Kaylee's sister Olivia also gets asked about Jack and the phone calls. And before I play that clip, it says here on the website, at this time there are no named suspects. And I think the wording is good for the people that believe that maybe they do have a suspect, but that they don't have enough. I don't think they have much, but some people believe that they have a suspect, but they don't have enough, or that they're waiting for the forensic evidence to come back. So they say no named suspects, no arrests, and no weapon has been found. Who is not believed to be involved? The two surviving roommates, male in the grub truck surveillance video. We're talking about the white hoodie guy. Private party driver who took Kaylee and Madison home on November 13. The male Kaylee and Madison called numerous times during the early morning hours of November 13th. So that's important because people are, going for him. Any individual at the residence when 911 was called.
And there were a number of phone calls to him that night. And you say that would have been typical behavior for Kaylee, that she often would call friends, folks, for a whole bunch of things.
At any time, yeah. Multiple times until I would pick up at 3 a.m. and be like, Kaylee, what?
There was one other portion of this interview that stuck out to me that I can remember, and it was when they were talking about this attack being targeted. And you guys can comment in the chat too and tell me, do you believe it was specifically one person that was targeted and the others were just collateral, or were they all targets? And what the father had to say here I thought was interesting, because he said that he was told, which I'm not sure who he means. Does he mean police? Does he mean just rumors? That somebody, that it was one person, and that also the rumor was Kaylee. But check it out.
Assistant descriptor has been that the attack was targeted. Do you know if police believe one person in the house was the target of this attack, or all four?
I've been told it's one, but then again, there's the vagueness. Like, it's like purposely vague, I'm hoping, but it confuses everyone.
Yeah. Because
nobody knows what that really means, other than maybe somebody had a different kind of attack footprint.
Has anyone indicated to you that if it was indeed one person targeted, it was one person targeted. Was Kaylee the target? Has anybody shared that with you?
They won't confirm who that was to us.
The police, that is.
We've heard the rumors that that's the case, but it's just a rumor at this point.
Tons and tons of rumors, but nothing from the police.
I want to share this bit from News Nation, which she talks about that she believes this was targeted, premeditated, planned.
This horrific crime of our 4 young victims here. This is absolutely, in my mind, predatory, and here's why. I have no doubt that this killer, and I'll say a singular killer, I don't believe there is.
I also believe it's just one person.
More than one murderer involved in this case, but this person, without a doubt, has planned this. It was premeditated, it was willful, it was with malice. And so when we look at a knife of this caliber as well, this is something that individuals, Nicole, have tactical training on.
Which that made me think of the whole ROTC thing where the cops were looking into the Idaho, the University of Idaho ROTC. She made some good points, and she goes on to say that cops have to do this thing where they check and search people's their inner circles. They start with, like, the ex, the friends, people that would have known them closely, and then they have to expand layer by layer outside of that. And so she goes on to say that, they're probably the next level is to look into associates, maybe not necessarily somebody that they knew directly personally, but like maybe somebody they knew of, or maybe somebody outside, maybe they've come across in passing or something like that. And so thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. Please make sure you check out our channel sponsor, Swag.it. You just have to click the link. I'll put the link in the description and in the comment section. Click the link, download the app, follow me on there. We're doing a giveaway at the end of December for $500. Make sure you check that out. You get swag bucks on there, which converts to gift cards. Pretty cool video app platform. I'll be posting videos on there. I also posted a new members video today of this disgruntled weirdo person that was upset that I didn't invite them to Discord and didn't let them make my thumbnails and channel art. And so they wish death literally on my daughter and hope that she rots in hell and wish like some sort of terminal illness upon her. Weirdo stuff that I'm not going to give attention publicly, but it's in the members area if you want to check that out. Posted that today. Thank you guys so much for the support. Take care of yourself. Love you guys. And also there's a playlist for the Idaho murders, the coverage that I've been doing on it. So if you want to check any portion of video, I'd appreciate that. Take care and peace. Bloop, bloop.